We're good. We're good.
I got it. Okay, I got it.
So the quadratic formula has to be memorized if you want to use it. If you memorize it wrong, you suck. Oh, it's not that bad. You ready? So this is how it goes. It looks scary. It's not. X equals opposite b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Thank you. All right, so I'll do it again so you can hear the tune. It's just that top physical or the jack box. All right. X equals opposite b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, now we try it together. And if you refuse to do it as a group, that's probably because you want the solo up here, right? So if you'd like to come up and do a solo when we all do it, after we all do it, then we can do that. But otherwise, everybody just like do it together. I'll sing really loud so that you don't have to sing over me if you don't want to.
Easy.
You ready?
We're gonna do it.
Later, not today. X equals opposite b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Come on in.
Solo time, boy.
Yeah, we better do it again because this has to be memorized. We better do it again. If you have trouble seeing up here, it's on your paper. Jesse? Jesse needs a solo? No. All right, Kayla, come on down.
No, I can't.
I'll do a duet with you.
You may need some warm tea and honey. No. You ready? Everybody together. X equals opposite b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, so hopefully that song will be stuck in your head for the rest of the year and you'll never forget it. If that's what you say. In Algebra 1 and Geometry, you should.
I've never seen that.
Is you?
I've never seen it before.
It's okay.
I've never seen it. What time I did that?
Well, I will say we have seen parts of this equation before. If I cover up plus or minus square root, yep. If I cover that up, guess what that is? That axis of symmetry. And then the plus or minus b squared minus 4ac is from the axis of symmetry going straight out to your x-intercepts. From the axis of symmetry going straight out to the x-intercepts, plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so this has to be the form. If it's not in that form, you aren't going to be able to use quadratic formula to get the answer. So it has to be in that form. Let's use the quadratic formula and see if we can get our answer. So solve x squared plus 3x equals 5. Is it in the correct form?
No.
It has to equal 0. Does it equal 0?
No.
What are we going to do to make it equal 0? Okay, subtract 5 from both sides. So I have x squared plus 3x minus 5 equals 0. When I look at this equation, what is my A value? 1. The B is 3, and the C is negative 5. We need to know those so that when we sing our song, we know where to put everything. Yep, so what's it start with? X equals opposite B, so opposite of 3. Hold on. I paused my song. Plus or minus square square root b squared. What is b squared? 9. Minus 4. A is 1. C is negative 5. All over 2 times 1. So just plug everything in. Now you have to simplify using order of operation. So we already have our x intercepts. We have what x equals. We just have to simplify. So order of operations, I'm going to simplify underneath the square root and underneath the fraction first. So I will have negative 3 plus or minus square root 9, and then you have to do negative 4 times 1 times negative 5. So I think to myself, what is a negative and a negative multiplied together? Positive, and somebody already yelled out 20, and then that's over 2. So we have negative 3 plus or minus square root of 29 over 2. If you have trouble doing things like multiplying negative 4 times negative 5, what can you do? Sure, you can practice.
Calculator.
Or you can use your calculator. I haven't taken away the calculator for this. If you don't know 4 times 5 by now,
Oh, that's 25, right?
I don't have time to reteach that. It's fine. All right, now, there are 3 things that you have to check when you are done to see if you're really done. There's 3 things. These are simplifying things. I'm going to make a list just kind of over on this side of the paper, and we'll check as we go. So the first thing that we're going to check is the square root simplified completely. Why are you over there? But no, she's fine. I'm fine. I never took attendance, that's why I was asking.
Attendance.
Yeah, I paused this real fast. Okay, so the first question is the square root of 29, is that simplified all the way? Is there a perfect square that divides into 29? Does anything divide into 29?
13 and 14 and a half, so.
1 and itself, so it's a prime number, so I can't simplify that. But some of them can't. The second thing we have to check for is the denominator, or the bottom number, denominator, which is the bottom, a positive number. It has to be positive. When we simplify, oh my gosh, you all who are not writing this down, you already knew these rules?
I did.
I'm just watching people just. Yeah, it's making me nervous. I teach these because these are the things that people mess up every year. So I specifically put these down on paper so that you have a checklist to go through. These are just general rules of simplifying. You can never leave a negative in the denominator. It's for all fractions. So guess what happens if you leave it there? Well, no, you don't fail, but I will take off. Huh? Yeah, we'll do an example. This one, there is not a negative in the denominator, so we're okay on that one. And then the third thing, is there a number that can be factored, and I wrote GCF factored, out of both terms on top, which is the numerator, and canceled with a factor from the bottom, which is the denominator. trying to make it like as descriptive as I can. Because again, this is where people make mistakes. So I'm trying to make it as descriptive as possible. Write it down the one time. You don't have to write this down every time. Or don't write it down. That's it. Just trying to help you out. So the last question, is there a number that can be factored out of both terms on top and canceled with a factor from the bottom? So we look at this one that we just did, and on top we have a -3, and then we have a 1 square root 29. Those are the terms. Is there something that divides out of that, like undistributes out of that would cancel with a 2 on the bottom? So because I couldn't do anything with that, I have my final answers. And this assignment is going to be on big ideas. So they're going to give you like x equals space. X equals space. You have to plug in both answers. So remember both answers. One is -3 plus radical 29 all over 2. The other is -3 minus square root of 29 all over 2. Okay? So now, because of space, I'm going to just kind of get rid of number 2. And we're just going to do 1 and 3. We'll just draw a line in the middle. We're going to do 1 and 3. That's going to fit a little bit better. Says student practice, so I'm going to keep working with you. If you want to work ahead, that is okay. First thing you want to check to see if this is in the correct form. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0.
Oh wait, sorry, I was looking for
3 is not, but 1 is. So A is 1, B is -6, C is 4. So then we sing our song. X equals opposite B. What is the opposite of -6?
6.
Positive 6. Plus or minus square root B squared minus 4AC.
Oh,
You should just start singing it for me.
I got you anytime.
I'll go away now.
It's very cool.
All right, so we're going to simplify, and like I said earlier, if you can't multiply 4 times a -4 times a 1, you better be doing it with a calculator. If you can, good. Then I'm going to simplify that even further, and now I have 6 plus or minus square root 20 all over 2. And at this point, I go through my 3 questions. The first one is the radical. Can it be simplified further? So 20 has the square root of what in it?
4.
4, and then the square root of 5. So now we have 6 plus or minus 2 radical 5 all over 2. So we square rooted that 4 and it became 2. Radical 5 didn't do anything. Stayed radical 5. The next question, is the denominator positive?
Yes.
All right, we're good there. The third question, is there a number that will factor out, like GCF factoring, out of these 2 terms on top, and will cancel with a term on the bottom?
Yes.
The number 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out that 2 from my numerator, and that will leave me with 3 plus or minus radical 5. And then I'm also going to factor the 2 from the denominator, and that will leave me with 2 times 1, which is 2.
So it's just 3 5.
So these will cancel, and we'll get x equals 3 plus or minus square root 5. Question? Question about how I got my answer. What happened to the over 1? What happened to that?
It's over 1, so it doesn't matter.
We're dividing by 1, we don't have to write it.
So that's over 1.
The same thing. How did I get a 3 here? Factored out the 2. If you're not sure if you did it right, multiply back in. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times square root of 5 is 2 square root of 5. So you can check it. All right, number 3. Is it in the correct form to start? No. Subtract negative 5 or subtract 5x? Okay. So we will get 0 equals negative 5x squared plus x plus 8. Then we sing our song. X equals opposite b. What is b?
1.
Okay. So x equals negative 1 plus the minus square root b squared is 1 minus 4ac over 2a. So I just plugged in all my numbers. And then I need to know what negative times negative gives me underneath the radical. That negative 4, that negative 5, negative times negative is what kind of number? Okay. So now I've got square root of 1 plus, and then 4 times 5 is 20, times 8, 160. All over negative 10.
Where does the negative come from? What's like 1 minus 1 negative 5 negative?
This negative here. So the song is b squared minus 4ac. So it's part of the song. Okay? Or the formula, not the song. So from here, I'm just going to add together 1 plus 160. I'll go up here. Negative 1 plus or minus 160. Square root of 161 all over negative 10. All right, now we go through the 3 questions. The first question, can we simplify square root 161?
Don't man. Oh, wait.
Do you guys know all the factors of 161 by memory?
No, you can't. Yeah.
It's not prime. But the question is there a square root that goes? You don't have to check like every single number. You just need to, or if you do find something that is divisible by, it might help you. You need to check square roots for sure. Question? So the formula is all over 2a. So I have 2, and then my a value is negative 5. So it's the same formula every single time. I didn't find anything that goes in there.
7 and 23.
7 times 23.
Yeah.
Is that going to have a perfect square in it somehow? No, because those are prime numbers. So I know that 161 is simplified all the way, but did you see how I just sat here and waited? You have to do the work yourself. If you wait for somebody else to answer it, you aren't going to be able to do it on the test. Okay. What's the next question? The denominator, is it positive? No, it's not. So if that happens to you and you do not have a positive down there, we have to change it. What you're going to do is we're going to multiply this by a value of 1. If you multiply by 1, it does not change how much this is worth. But the 1 is going to be in disguise, so it gets rid of this negative sign. So I'm going to multiply by negative 1 over negative 1. So that is a value of 1. Negative 1 over negative 1 is 1. But what's going to happen when I multiply the denominator by negative 1? Okay. And then on the top, if I take negative 1 times negative 1, it's going to be positive 1. And then I have to take negative 1, and I have to multiply it by plus square root 1, plus square root 161. Yeah, so if I multiply the positive, it becomes a negative. If I multiply the negative, it becomes a positive, so we still have plus or minus.
So it's negative. Positive.
Yeah, but you don't have to write it negative positive. You just write plus minus every time. True, but it's not. Okay, and then that would be your final two answers right there.
How do we put negative positive on acceptance?
You take out like a half point for not knowing the proper notation. Okay. Alright, we're going to do two more examples. We're going to do example 2 and example 3. So example 2, 25x squared minus 8x equals 12x minus 4. Is that the correct order?
No.
Put it in the correct order.
Yes.
If you're faster than me and haven't gone on, go on. I'll catch up to you. See if you can put it in the correct order yourself. Oh, you want to sit by it? Is that what you mean, Tim? Alright, so did ya say equal 0 here? Did you get 25x squared minus 20x plus 4 equals 0? Did you do it that way? Anybody do it a different way? Nobody did it a different way?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's fine. So then we do x equals opposite b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We're just plugging in the formula. Sorry about the screen. And if I'm like, don't want to take my calculator out and I have to like multiply by 25, I just think about money.
It's minus 4.
What's minus 4? What are you guys talking about? Oh, inside. Yeah, so I do 4 times 25, that's 100. I just think of money. And 100 times 4 is minus 400. All over 50. So now I have 20 plus or minus the square root of 0 over 50. What is the square root of 0? Okay, so I have 20 plus or minus 0 over 50. What happens if we add 0 or if we subtract 0? Still 20 no matter what? Am I having a what? Yes. So if I add 0 or subtract 0, it's still 20. Does that reduce? Yeah. And then I don't really have to answer any of those questions because, well, I mean, I still have to think through. There's no radical. The 5 is not. The 5 is positive, and then I just reduced what I could reduce. Why is there one answer? Well, yeah, but why is there only one? The other ones had 2.
Because the plus or minus.
Okay, yes, algebraically, yes. How about graphically? Why is there only one answer at x equals 2 plus? I heard somebody say, like, it is the vertex. It is the vertex. Remember? To be one solution, it's got to be the vertex. Otherwise, we'll have like 2 answers. If it's not the vertex. Or there could be 0 answers. If it was like that. You see one that has 0 answers? Well, too bad. We're doing it anyway. All right, example 3. Example 3. Is this in the form? How are we going to change it? Okay. So then I'll have negative x squared plus 4x minus 13 equals 0. What's going on? That's not what's going on. No, you're not fine. Come. No, because I want to have a conversation with you, what you just said.
Are we gonna have to like graph things?
Oh.
Okay, then why did you show us?
Yeah, I'm making connections to what we've already learned and why there's only one answer compared to why there might be two answers. Is that what you had said to him?
No, that
Well, what had you said to him? Because that's the conversation I wanted to have.
I'm fine, that was it.
Okay, fine. Questions before we go on? All right. So now we're going to sing our song. X equals, am I on the screen? Opposite b plus or minus. You could say that as well, but plus, nope, minus. No, I'm off on my song now. 4ac. I can't do it when you're singing. Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I just can't sing it while you're singing it. I just have to do it. Okay, so then I start to simplify that, and if I'm doing it without my calculator, then I'm looking here and seeing there's a minus 4, a minus 1, and a minus 13. That's 3 minuses. When you multiply that, what does that become?
Minus.
A negative? Yeah. Or a minus, yeah. So I've got negative 4 plus or minus, I've got 16, and that ends up being 52, minus 52, all over negative 2. Negative 4 plus or minus square root negative 36 over negative 2. And then this is stuff that was on our quiz last week. What do we do to square root a negative 36?
Negative 6. Negative 6.
So the negative part becomes the I, and then 36 is just the 6. So we have negative 4 plus or minus 6i all over negative 2. And then, so we don't have any radicals. We've simplified the radical. The second question, is there a negative in the denominator? So we have to multiply the numerator and the denominator, a negative 1 over negative 1. That changes the top to be positive 4 plus or minus 6i. The bottom becomes 2. And then the last question, is there a number that factors out of 4 and 6 and cancels with something in the denominator? Yeah, 2. So we have 2. Factor that out, we have 2 plus or minus 3i over. You factor the denominator to be 2 times 1. In order to cancel it, it has to factor out of the numerator and the denominator. I teach pre-calc, and we're doing stuff like this, only it's with things that look like that.
So Mattel?
I was actually
Yeah. Who said that? Was that you? Who did you have last year? Who did you have last year?
Jennifer Seymour.
Do you guys do identities?
Can we do it?
How do you even know that?
I just saw it somewhere.
Oh, I just said it on the screen real fast.
No, I've seen that before.
Oh, wow. That just, like, impressed me. Alright, but anyway. So, it's called identities, but trig identities. Anyway, so what I was saying was, you have to know when you can cancel, because when you get to the higher level courses, if you don't know it by then, you're going to be, like, having trouble. Because that looks hard, didn't it? It's not if you know your rules. Alright, so our final answer, I don't have a remember. I kind of have a
2
remember.
plus 3i, right? Actually,
2 plus or minus 3i. So that's, you put 2 plus 3i and 2 minus 3i in your two answers.
so if you don't, say we take a test, right, and if you don't put x equals, then you're going to mark all.
Just depends what the question